I was at the restaurant on Mission 66, Tony's Restaurant and Lounge, when it all went down. And I went in the bar, heard something about it, and I went in the bar and turned on the TV because it was early that morning, and started watching in disbelief about what was going on, that this country was under attack.
I was a junior at Alcorn State University. I had an 8 o'clock class that morning, and I remember my roommate and I woke up and we were just getting into our routine of getting ready to go to class. But all of a sudden at about 7:50, the news, there was an alert of that there was a plane that was flown into the World Tower.
I was actually standing at my kitchen counter watching the Today Show on NBC. Had a small television in the kitchen at that time, and I can remember them switching from the regular television show, from the regular broadcast, over to live images of the World Trade Center towers.
911, I was at Hines Community College. When I came to school that day, we walked in and they were watching the towers and burning on the news.
I wasn't real sure if they were being honest or not. You know, they carry on so much stuff. It wasn't until I got to school and actually saw that it was on the news channel. So, and then I knew that there were big problems in the United States.
That morning when the news hit and the towers, or the first tower was hit, I was wondering what was going on, what was happening. Pretty much like everybody else in the world, I guess. And then all of a sudden, CNN and local news and everybody else started flashing news flashes.
And at that time, they were speaking of it as a terrible accident. Well, as we're watching, some few minutes later, we actually watched as the second plane hit the second tower, and at that time it was really obvious that this was not just an accident.
Felt different, didn't know what was going on at first, and then once I realized that we was under attack, terror attacks, it was just wow, on our homeland, something you just don't expect, you don't think is going to happen or don't see coming.
I think every person in this country should take a moment and say a prayer for all those lives that were lost, and for the survivors, for the surviving families that their dad or their mom or their son or their daughter, brother or sister didn't come home that day.
I think just like everybody else, you knew there was people in there. Just by looking at the building, you can't grasp the amount of people that's in the building. And then obviously nobody was filming up close or showing anything live up close, so you had no idea there's 343 firemen in those stairwells that are still trying to do their job and get people out, plus all the cops, plus the civilians that were still in the building. You couldn't grasp how many people were about to die.
343 of my brothers and sisters were lost at that day. Not counting the police officer, I'm not quite sure about the number of police officers, but and almost 3,000 people total were lost on that day.
A month after 9/11, I had to travel to Puerto Rico to do a presentation. So of course, being a 20-year-old student, I am just anxious and just afraid and in fear because we didn't know if there would be more attacks.
To be honest, that's probably one of the quickest 20 years of my life. I didn't even realize I was so young in the fire service when all that took place. But you still feel the ripples of it. You still feel the effects. You can kind of start to feel the little surge of just the sorrow from that day, and we never forgot it. Never forgot it.
Man, the world changed. Things were different, but it was good to see how people rallied together to deal with it. So it has some real horrible aspects, but also at the same time, you saw the good in people come out. So I mean, I try to take the good out of the bad whenever you can. So.
And I really want, you know, to see that unity again, because everybody was pro-America.
You know, I think there was a period of time, and of course, you know, we're all transforming, and if we don't learn something new every day, then we're failing in our mission. But I think there was a period of time that really did bring a lot of people together. This country was all focused on one thing at one time.
This is a day that I can remember just as if this happened yesterday. I still remember 9/11, where I was, what I was doing, and just the hurt and just fear, the shame, the just hurt for all the families that lost loved ones, all of the people that were on the plane, all the people that were at the World Trade Center. I just remember feeling that hurt and still can feel it to this day.
It doesn't seem like it's been that long ago, because you remember exactly what was going on and what happened while it happened.
feels like yesterday. It gives me chills just looking at it.
This is the largest single loss of life that this country has ever experienced, and there are families that are suffering every day, and there are still citizens as well as first responders that are still physically suffering from the aftermath of the dust and the debris and the things that they had to deal with in the days and weeks and months following the attack. I'm just very proud. We have a fire department in the city and in the county that is second to none. The partnership that you see here in Vicksburg and Warren County is second to no one else. You don't find any place else in the state of Mississippi that has this. I'm very proud of our firefighters, our paramedics, our EMTs, and certainly proud of our law enforcement in the city and the county. But I think more than that, I'd like to say that I'm proud of the citizens of Vicksburg. The citizens of this community of Vicksburg and of Warren County have always come together. They've always worked hard, been a giving, loving community, and this is just a great community to serve.
Whether it's that Twin Towers that has a plane in it, or somebody's house fire or a car wreck or whatever, we know we're putting our life on the line every time we go out, but that's what we do.